you guys. Thank you, IIED, for giving me this opportunity to come here, share my fair share of experience. In these past 8 years, what I have experienced in this industry, and from where I started to where I am today. And I think I'll just leave the chitter chatter and I'll start quickly with the presentation. What I have made, it's a very basic presentation, so spare me on that. And we'll just quickly start with it. So I just got to see the polls. There are a lot of people from the event industry as well. So there's going to be, I think it's going to be a fun time on this. Like I'll share my experiences on that. I'm sure your experiences could be bigger, more than mine. And I'll start with mine. Yeah. So my forte was always in venue planning because I like planning shows for people. And in venue planning, what I started with was understanding what is important in terms of the placements, what is important in terms of a lot of the other aspects that we are going to learn today. There might be more aspects to what I'm going to tell today which we might learn later in life with our own experiences, or when we work together, we learn it together. So I'll quickly start with if like what are different types of events, like what if anybody can Akshit, can they access the mic right now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to share what all types of events do they know about, so you can just put on the messages, you can just share it with us on the mic.
Corporate wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Jashank. Amar
Hi.
here.
Hi,
Yeah,
Aman.
so I have been part of exhibitions. I have been part of concerts. I have done destination weddings. I have done big exhibitions, corporate shows. So you name it, I have done almost everything.
Wow, Amar, I think then we might soon work together as well. Things
We have actually.
Oh, great. Where,
You
which show?
you were there in Lost Party.
Oh, yes, I was.
Yeah,
Oh, nice to meet you, man.
yeah, same here.
So I'll just share what are different types of events. These are certain set of events what I have done in my 8 years of experience. Like I've done concerts, touchwood, I've done decent amount of concerts and decent scale of concerts. I've done corporate shows, theatricals, musicals, exhibitions. Like these are the list of shows what I've done. I'm pretty sure if somebody knows beyond this, I'll be more than happy to know, and I'll be more than happy if somebody can share if they know any other kind of an event apart from this.
Opening ceremony.
Oh yeah, opening ceremonies, yes. Like I think IPL store launches, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, IPL, ISLs and stuff like that.
Wow, that's something. Yeah, I think I've not done that. So yeah, I think I have it on my bucket list to do. So yeah, I think I'll move forward to the next slide. And so basically, the today's presentation is about like what is venue planning. So venue planning is something that you would go on site, but once you reach on site, when you're going for a show and you don't know where what needs to be done, you can't just go randomly on a show like on ground, and you can just not randomly place things anywhere. So that's what is venue planning that is used for. Like by end of the day, if I'm getting on ground, I should know where my stage is supposed to be, where my backstage is supposed to be, where my audience is going to enter from, where is the where are they going to go for the washrooms, where are they going to access their food, where are they going to go to the, if they want to go to the bar, where that is supposed to be. And there's a lot of information that you need to know in the back of your head, that if two things shouldn't collide with each other, because if two things collide with each other, they uh, end up creating a chaos in a show. So we'll slowly, like, this is some information what I can give you on what is venue planning. So I'll move to the next slide. So what are the key elements of venue planning? Now, firstly, what I've mentioned is the nature of the event. So nature of the event is we need to understand why are we doing that event? Are we doing it for entertainment purposes? Are we doing that event for any educational purposes? So we need to understand what is the nature of the event. Then second point, what comes down to is the crowd capacity. Now, it's important to know what capacity are you catering to. If you're catering to an event that is for 100 people, you are going to give people those amenities that are good enough to sustain, and they are catering to those 100 people. Now, if I'm doing a concert that is for 10,000 people, I can't do, by default, we know that we can't do an event which is catering to 10,000 people and I'm giving amenities to the people which are just for 100. So we need to understand what is the crowd capacity, and how by end of the day, if there is a possibility of more people coming in, so we should know that whether what we have is good enough to cater to those people who are going to end up at last moment as well. Third comes to the location. We definitely need to understand what location we are planning to do our event at. Whether, and not only the location, we also need to know whether we need to do a certain show indoor or outdoor. So people who are not from the event background, and people who are from the event background, I'll just give you a very simple example. Now, if people who are from Bombay, they will know that there are open grounds in BKC. Now in BKC, if I want to do a concert and if I want to do a show in BKC, I would either go to an MMRDA ground, which is an open ground, or either I'll go to Geo Garden. But both of the grounds are completely different in a way. They both are outdoor venues, but there's a major difference. Geo Garden is much more, I would say, secured space than MMRDA. So we need to understand what location we are choosing for what event, because definitely the budgets matter when you're blocking the venue. That definitely matters. But also you also get certain amenities that are related, connected to those, connected to the venue what you're booking. Then I would say fourth point, I would go for accessibility. Now, if I'm booking a venue, I've finalized everything. I finalized the location. I know what crowd capacity I'm sharing. I know what is the nature of my event. And now I think, okay, now I've booked a venue, but it's not accessible to people. So there's no, by end of the day, they are not going to be happy about coming to a certain location. They'll be quite upset that, okay, now I'll give an example of Bombay. I've done a lot of shows in Bombay, so I would definitely give another example of Bombay. We had done an event at DY Patil Stadium. That was, we've done a couple of events at DY Patil Stadium. Our last event, what we had done at DY Patil was for U2. U2 is a band, and there were somewhere around 35,000 people as per the statistics. And so, but now we need to understand 35,000 people are coming outside Bombay. It is not in the heart of the city. It's not, DY Patil is not very easily accessible to 35,000 people. So we need to understand what we can, if it is not accessible, then what we need from our, as an event manager, we need to understand what we give out to those audience, that it becomes more accessible to them. Then accessibility is not only for the audience, accessibility is for us as well, because we need to understand if our artist is coming in. So how is it more, how can we get the artist to the floor? That is one of the major points. Then the accessibility should also be for not only transport and artists. We need to know what is the nearest hospital, what is the nearest police station, and there are other amenities that we need to understand, that we need to do all those data collection in and around in those terms. Then in venue planning also comes permissions. So when now somebody would ask me ki, for venue planning, why is permissions such a criteria? So permissions, also related to if I'm booking a venue, and if a certain venue doesn't allow me to work at night, that's a very difficult part for me. People who've done a lot of corporate shows might get my reference on this. So today, if I go to a five-star hotel and I have booked the lawn area outside the hotel and I want to start my work at night. So when I'm doing work at night, somebody, the security will come and they'll tell me, sorry, you can't work at night, you're hammering, and my guests are getting disturbed. So you can't work beyond 10 o'clock. So again, so we need those permissions ready. If I'm working at night, I have a short span of time. We are into events. We deal in short span of time. We have to give people that experience in a very short span of time. So this is one of the examples, like what I gave you for the corporate events. Another example what I could give you is again DY Patil. In DY Patil, if I'm the DY Patil's event, I would say floor capacity is more than 45-50,000 people. But when we go out to take permissions to serve them alcohol, till date, in my experience, we haven't received permissions for serving alcohol to the guests, which is fair, which I understand that it is difficult to handle 35,000 people after they drink alcohol. So yeah, so permissions are also one of the key elements when you think about venue planning in a way. So I'll move to my next slide. So I think this is one of the major reasons, not major reasons, sorry, reasons might be a wrong word. This is one of the major elements in venue planning as well. Those are layouts, and that is my forte, which I understand pretty well, and I have been doing it in the past 8 years. And so people who are from the industry, they might understand what are layouts. And my friends who are just joining in the industry, and I would just like to term layout in a very simple way first. Layouts are basically what you see a picture or what you imagine in your head. You lay it out on a piece of paper, and whatever you're thinking, it's basically called a layout. But more when you get more deep, when you deep dive into our industry, you'll understand in layouts are mostly floor plans, and floor plans are basically drawings what we make before when we are in the planning phase of an event. So when we are planning where we are, what we are planning to, where things are to be on our ground is when we make layouts. And layouts, I would say floor plan is a more professional term, but we in our industry, we call them layouts. So I'll move to the next slide. I think if you've not understood what layouts are, you can definitely ask me. You can talk to me right now. Does anybody have any doubts on like what are layouts?
Yes, sir. I'm Arun. Moreover, the layouts are. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's sorry, it's a little hazy. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine, sir. So, moreover, the venue planning is okay, sir. How to client will be to see the image of the layout, graphic designing, right?
Guys, can everybody shut their mics off, please?
Yeah, now I asking.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sir, I want I will industry in just 1 year. I will come in industry just 1 year.
Okay.
I will doing corporate events and wedding planners.
Okay.
Now I have one more doubt in layout planning, sir. Moreover, I will handle venue planning. It's okay. And afterwards, my client asking designers. I want customized design. I want customized layout. Which app for used? Which app is used for layouts and how to make it layouts?
Okay, so we'll cover that as well in my further slides. I have covered that for you, so I think that will solve your doubts. I'll tell you what software I use specifically for all the major events what we've done. So I'll answer that question for you in the couple of slides ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So key concerns while planning a layout. I would say one of the key concerns, yes, we need a lot of details while we are planning a layout. Yeah. I've listed just 3 of them right now. I'm trying to keep it a little simple for now. So firstly, we need to know the size of the venue. So size of the venue, the important part of knowing the size of the venue is today, if I'll just give another example. If I'm doing an event that is catering to 1,000 people and my venue can accommodate exactly 1,000 people. So there's a problem there. If a venue can cater to exactly 1,000 people, first problem is that we don't have a contingency. Second problem what we face is only if it is catering to 1,000 people, where will my other amenities go at? So we need to be very precise on what we are planning, what we are thinking while making a layout, and what all things that are needed to be added while the show, sorry, not the show, where while the event is supposed to happen. Then my second point is presets available. And I've made a mistake by putting etc again. So presets available. Presets is something, a term that I have personally put. So presets are something when I am booking a venue, like, but my venue is just a barren land. So, but there are venues that provide you, since when you've done corporates, so there are venues that provide you with existing toilets. Some venues provide you power. They have their own existing generators, so that solves a lot of your cost in electricity power purposes. And there are some venues that provide you, there are certain indoor venues that provide you to rig is again an event industry word. Rigging is basically what we hang from the ceiling, and and people who are new to this industry, they'll know that what we hang is basically we can hang our sound systems, we can hang all the intelligent lighting what you see, and there are a lot of elements that we hang. So for that is the term rig. And so yeah, presets, there are a lot of venues that provide you with all these presets. Then the third part is client and sponsor deliverables. So when we are doing an event, and I'll give you an example of a concert again. When we are doing an event and our client, there are sponsors who shell out a lot of money in advertisements. So what they do is they'll give you a certain fee, and they ask you for a certain space, or they'll ask you where can they brand, where can they put their branding, banners, and all of the other elements what they want to display at an event. So we need to understand what are the sponsor deliverables, what we need to give, what space we need to give to the sponsors, or what are the elements that sponsors need to be provided. What I'll do is I'll simultaneously give you guys examples, so that it becomes easier for the newcomers also to understand what I'm talking about. So if I'm doing a concert, a sponsor will come to me. He's paid me an X number of amount, and he'll ask me for a certain space. We give them a certain space. And once we have given them a certain space, they'll ask us for power. Power is basically electricity, that what they need to run their stall, if they are creating a stall or an experience zone in that space given to them. So we need to think about all of these things on back of our head, that if we are putting a space, there'll be a generator that might also come to give them power. So all of these things go work hand in hand, and we need to, over a period of time, we learn with our experiences that what are supposed to be, what all things are supposed to be accounted for. So I'll move to my next slide. So types of layouts at events. There are innumerable types of layouts, and there are innumerable number of changes what we make when we are making layouts. I think personally, my number I've done a lot of changes on one of the concerts, and I think a few of my friends also have joined in. Few of my clients have also joined in, and they might be knowing the amount of changes what we've made on the layouts. So to cut short, I'll move to the next slide and I'll tell you what are the types of layouts what we make for events. So there is venue construction layout. Venue construction layouts are basically that tells you where your platforming is supposed to be, where your stage is supposed to be, where your bar is supposed to be, where we are planning to put the entry aisles, where we are planning to put our food stalls, and lot of key elements that are counted in venue construction basis. So guys, when you enter the industry, you will understand a difference between, sorry, not difference, but you will understand what exactly venue construction is as a terminology. Then second is stage layout. Stage layout, I would say, is one of the key elements in layout, because some stages are very basic, which don't have too many elements on it, which don't have too many detailing work that is done on it. And there are some stages there which are very much into detail, especially for corporate events is something what I have experienced myself, where stage layouts are very much into detail. And then in concerts, I would say we are a little flexible on a few things, but yeah, stage layout is very important. We need to understand where the person is entering from. Stage for an event, I would say stage is one of, people just come to see the stage. That is one of the major point where people have their eyes on. So yeah, stage layouts are important. Then rigging layout. Rigging layout is mostly, I think I shared this terminology just few slides back. Rigging layout is mostly on the sides of technicians and for the technical teams, where they need to know if I am putting a piece of truss and if I'm hanging certain loads on it. Loads could be of lights, loads could be of sound, loads could be of any aerials, and all of the other pieces that I want to hang. And where exactly that point needs to be hung is very important. And rigging layout is something that uh, in India, more than in India, international companies follow much more in detail and much more in precision. Then electricals layout. Electricals layout, I would say people who are into events, they would understand that we get generators. In a lot of places where we do events, we don't get house power. We have to get in our own generators. So we need to understand where, first of all, where our generators are supposed to be parked, where is the cabling going from, where are our plug points coming in, where are the junction points of those power related jennies going to be. So yeah, electricals layout is very important. Then comes into security and CCTV layout. Security and CCTV layout is mostly about the deployment of where our security and CCTVs are supposed to be. So it becomes easier not only for us, but there are a few instances in bigger shows and large scale shows where you will find certain government bodies that will be coming and also governing the event in terms of safety purposes. So they need to know where your security is deployed and at what numbers, and where are your CCTVs that are going to be deployed. So that is it. And emergency movement and evacuation. I think emergency movement and evacuation layout, just to give you a very simple example, if you go to malls or if you go to very big corporate offices, you will see a green color banner or a white color banner somewhere in one corner, and you'll see big red dots marked and big red arrows marked. So this is mostly for evacuation purposes, is what we have to make if in case there is any mishap that happens on the event. We need to have a layout and we need to understand where the audience is supposed to exit from, how quickly we can evacuate them, and what will be the nearest assembly point for these people. So emergency movement and evacuation also goes to a lot of government bodies as well. And yeah, then we'll move out to the next is set layouts. So I think layouts is a wrong word, but set drawings, I would say. We make set drawings in terms of understanding what is the size of the set, what is the scale of the set, and set I would say for maybe for your corporate events, small scale events, biggest concerts, what you might see. There are set drawings everywhere. So yeah, layouts do make a difference. Yes. I'll move on to my next slide.
Una class leave
Guys, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. So, key elements of a layout. Sorry, I think I've not deleted the slide, so I'll move to the. So this is a layout of a 2 BHK. Okay. Sorry, a 3 BHK. And now people, you're thinking that why am I, like we are doing a event PPT and why am I showing a 3 BHK layout right now? So this is just to tell you, just to inform what are a few key elements that are there in a layout. And so first, what I would say is project details. So this is where we, if you guys can see, can you guys see my cursor?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
where you would see a project title written, project title is basically what is the name of the project, what is the location of the project, and the main details of on the location and the names. So then you might see a drawing title. The drawing title will tell you about what kind of a project it is and what is the other sorry, I've lost that word. So yeah, drawing title. And there are all the other details as well, like the drawing number, how many versions have you gone on the layouts, what is the date, and few, maybe the company logo and few other significant details. Maybe a lot of projects you need to know where the north sign is supposed to be. So these are few things that you can put in the project details. Then second comes down to sizing and scaling. So we need to understand what is the scaling of the space. Like now, if just to give you an example, this plot, this drawing, what you see is currently the drawing of a complete space. But what layout you're seeing over here is the drawing of a specific house in one of these buildings. Am I confusing you guys, or is it? If anybody is confused, you can definitely ask me.
A little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused. Like I didn't understand what you said about drawing elements, key elements of layout in drawing. I didn't understand what was that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you, my friend.
I couldn't understand what you said about drawing elements. What was that? I couldn't understand that.
Drawing elements.
Yeah.
You're talking about the elements of the layout of this particular slide?
Yeah.
So these are the specific elements what I'm talking about. Like right now, what I told you, like this is one of the elements, like project details. So where I'm talking about what all details are supposed to be mentioned while I'm making a layout. So these are certain elements what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Then next is annotations. Guys, annotations are very important in when you're making a layout, because you need to understand, I'll make a drawing, but if my drawing doesn't tell me that, okay, if you can see the slide clearly, it is saying that it is bedroom number 1. But if I just remove this written context, you won't come to know what is this specific area for. So annotations are necessary, which tell you about what is the size of this area and what is that specific area labeled as. Then comes down to line weights. We need to, if you guys can see, there'll be a thicker line, a thick black line, and there are thin gray lines. So that gradation of lines are very important for people to understand. Yeah, there is a completely different element that is marked over here. Okay, so I'll move down to my next slide. So one of my friends previously asked, what are the softwares that you can make layouts on, and how is it easy? So people do make layouts on Photoshop. People do make layouts on CorelDRAW, but AutoCAD is my go-to software, and this is the software which I use most of the time. Not most of the time, all the time, for making all of my layouts and all of the shows till date. What I've done, AutoCAD is my only software that I've made layouts upon. So understanding sizing and dimensions. So there are two systems of sizing and dimensions. One is the metric system and one is the architectural system. In India, we follow a mix of both. So the metric system is mostly into meters and centimeters and millimeters, and the architectural system mostly is into feet and inches. And this is a terminology what is in AutoCAD, which I'm trying to share it with you. So most of the European countries follow metric system, and US follows the architectural system. And we in India, since we like everything, we mix both of them and we follow both of the systems simultaneously. Like for venue construction, we mostly follow feet and inches, and for a lot of technical elements, we follow metric system, the millimeters and meters and so on. So talking about using AutoCAD for venue and production planning, this is one of the key softwares what I've been using, because I'll just tell you what are the key points of this. Guys, can you please shut down your mics? Thank you. So floor plans, like I mentioned, I've always been using this for floor plans, like making all the layouts and all the drawings, because AutoCAD is accurate more than any other software till date in terms of making drawings. AutoCAD is not only used for events. AutoCAD is an engineering software which is used worldwide for multiple purposes. So yeah, floor plans is one of the key elements. Then accurate placement and so once you've made a once you get a ground layout from the venue, is when we start placing all our elements, like our stages, our toilets or bar or food stalls. And since AutoCAD is accurate, we get the exact placement, we get the exact dimensions what we need to on ground. Yeah. Third is getting accurate quantities of material. Guys, if you use AutoCAD accurately, and if you know how to use the software properly, trust me, all your drawings and everything, you will know how you can get all the quantities way before you get on ground. You'll be much more planned and much more precise when you reach on ground in terms of your material specs. Okay, so I'll move to the next slide. I think that was the last slide. Yeah. So I've just tried to make this presentation very crisp and very short, so that I hope you guys don't get bored. And yeah, if I think you guys can start shooting in questions. Yeah.
Jashank, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
I know that you have worked in Sunburn. So how did you start your journey into events, and how did you end up doing Sunburn, like such a big event? What was the story?
It's a very funny story. I think there are a lot of people, a lot of my friends also who are here. A lot of I think I have a few of my Sunburn clients also here. So it started almost 8 years back, and I was also a newbie, and I entered this industry, and I think Sunburn was that I had my eye on since beginning. And I just got a call one day. Vikas Menon, who is my boss, he just called me one day. He's like, and I was telling him since beginning, I want to do Sunburn. And Vikas was like, okay, and it had been quite a while that he we didn't have that. I think it was raining when I had joined, so we were not doing any concerts at that time. And all of a sudden, I get Vikas's call that tomorrow you need to go to Percept's office. And people who are not from the industry, Sunburn is a property of Percept. And yeah, that was a very exciting day for me. And I was like, yeah, I will definitely go. And things started. And at that time, Imran Khan was the uh, festival director for Sunburn when I had started working for Sunburn. And there were a lot of other people like Saurabh Patel, who was the production head, the venue construction head. There was Vinay Agarwal, who was the technical head. And it was my day one, and I was like a newbie. I just went there with my laptop, and things started. Like things started in a flow. I started making my basic layouts, and slowly, steadily, things started growing further. I started making set designs. I started making more technical drawings that were supposed to be sent to all the international agencies. So slowly, steadily, then I ended up. I think 2013. If I'm not wrong, 2013 was my first Sunburn main festival in Goa. And yeah, I think that's where I started. And it's like 2021, and we are here today, a little stuck because of the pandemic. But yeah, things will open up soon, and big shows are going to start again soon. So
thank you so much, Jashank. We will not take a lot of your more time.
no,
We will start with our we will start our next session, which is a Q&A session. So if any participants have any questions, you can write your questions in the live chat box, and we will ask those questions to Jashank. Jashank, there is already one question which Amar has shared, that he is already in the event industry. So how will this event designing course will help him? Like, can you maybe answer that?
So how will it help? So Amar, let me tell you one thing. In India, we by God's grace, I've gotten decent amount of chances to work abroad. So in India, I'm just talking about specifically about AutoCAD right now, not about all the other designing purposes, but obviously other softwares are also important if you want to creatively grow into this industry. But talking about AutoCAD, I think this is one of the softwares which is globally used in events. It's there are alternatives to AutoCAD as well, where I would say SketchUp is one of the alternatives where people use. There is I just forgot the name, which is mostly used for technical drawings. It was in back of my head. Sorry, if it clicks me, I'll definitely tell you. So yeah, I think it is important, my friend, because softwares help you to grow. We are in a digital age right now. We are way out of the old age where we are going to stand with a measuring tape and start measuring everything. We have to be more precise. We have to be more time efficient. We have to be more updated. So softwares do help you to grow. And these designing, I think this designing is not going to help you only in a specific event. It is going to help you in the complete industry together. So I think that Amar, does that solve your?
I think so.
Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jashank.
Yeah.
Jashank, one more question asked by Sushant.
Yeah.
Is SketchUp a good alternative to AutoCAD?
Sushant, like I just said, like SketchUp is an alternative to CAD, but I wouldn't say SketchUp is a good alternative to CAD, because SketchUp is not accepted worldwide. Today, SketchUp is not an engineering software specifically, but yeah, SketchUp is doing a lot of things. They are trying to incorporate a lot of elements that are used from like things what I use in CAD are also used in SketchUp. Like it is just coming up, but AutoCAD is way ahead in those terms. But for your basic start, SketchUp can be an alternative, but I would always prefer to go to the first person, but so I would always go for AutoCAD more than SketchUp.
Thank you, Jashank. Jashank, we have a question from Khushi.
Yeah.
She has asked like what kind of portfolio she should build for a job profile like event coordinator, client servicing, event planner, designer.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know about client servicing. I'm very bad at client servicing. My clients might be already laughing on this call because they know I'm very bad at client servicing. So for an event coordinator, I would say event coordinator and event planner and designer, we all start from bottom. We all start from the scratch. Nobody, like specifically for our industry, nobody is born with a gold, like silver spoon. So you start from the bottom. You start learning the basic elements, and for event planner and designer, for a event designer, there are certain different. It's divided into certain different categories. So an event designer in terms of creative is different, and an event designer in terms of venue is very different. So as I'm more of a venue related event designer, so I would say you really need to understand if I'm putting a certain element, is that element hindering any other elements? Because then it is like a ripple effect. If one thing tumbles, it will make other things tumble as well. So you need to understand what is the space, what you need to give to every element that you're putting into whatever you're doing. So, and what kind of portfolio, I would say, start from the bottom, slog as much as you can, but don't slog like but don't slog like a donkey. Slog smartly, and you will be very I would say be very concentrate on whatever you're doing, and just know what you want to achieve. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Jashank.
हेलो, मुझे डाउट है, मैं पूछ सकती हूँ?
Yeah, Khushi.
पूछ.
एक्चुअली मुझे मेन डाउट ये है कि लाइक फॉर जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी मुझे सीवी शो करना चाहिए या पोर्टफोलियो, एंड उसके अंदर आई हैव अ डाउट कि लाइक सीवी भी हैव अ थिंक कि मैंने ये सारे इवेंट्स किए एंड आई एम इन दिस स्टेज, बट पोर्टफोलियो में प्रेजेंटेशंस या फिर मेरा मूड बोर्ड या मेरे आइडियाज मुझे रिप्रेजेंट करने चाहिए. व्हाट आर द थिंग्स आई शुड मेंशन कि समझ में आया नहीं.
So Khushi, I think this is not the right forum, and I don't think so I'll be able to help you on that bit, because this is mostly related to event terms. So I think you should go to a counselor. You should, and I think you can connect to IIED, and they will help you on how you can move forward to that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jashank. Jashank, we have a lot of questions. And we are short on time. So
Okay.
I will ask a few of those questions.
Definitely. I think I'll quickly like run through the questions. I would say 3 important lessons you've learned. Be excited, don't be overexcited. Commit to what you can do, don't overcommit to things. Third lesson what I've learned is concentrate on your work. बकचोदी के टाइम पे बकचोदी होगी, काम के टाइम पे काम करो. So yeah, 3 of the lessons what I've learned. Then that was from Veda. Sneha says, do we need to show any model view or a view, or only layouts are enough? Sneha, only models, neither only for layouts, not on in terms of when you're getting on ground, layouts are important. When you're going to clients, models are important. So clients don't understand all, like if the client is not from an events background, he won't understand layouts all the time. So models are also important, but when you're working on ground on the field, layouts are very much important. So yeah, but yeah, they go hand in hand, and models do help out in more of presentation purposes, and AutoCAD or layouts help you more in terms of event purposes. And when you're working on with your vendors or you're working with your team, they understand how the layout is supposed to be. When you give the layout out to the team, they will know where they need to go and what they need to do. So I think that solves your answer, Sneha.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
That's me, Sneha.
Yeah.
So for that views or the models, so what sort of software do we need to use?
There are innumerable softwares, Sneha. You can do 3D modeling on AutoCAD as well. There is 3ds Max, there's Maya, there is the other alternative to set drawings it just clicked into my head was Vectorworks, which is slowly coming up. So yeah, but Vectorworks is also a CAD based software. So yeah, sorry, I'll get back to you, Sneha. So yeah, these are a couple of softwares what you can probably go for when you are learning in terms of all of these things. Hope that solves your answer, Sneha.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Then Lakshmi, what kind of resume we should
Thank
build
you so
for
much.
the job profile, like event coordinator, event client service? Lakshmi, just start from bottom and start learning whatever you can, slog your ass again, and in time you will learn and you will get better over a period of time. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Jashank, for answering these questions for us. If
Oh,
you
there
have
are a
missed
lot
any
more.
questions,
Yeah,
I will try to share you these questions on WhatsApp. If you
definitely.
can answer these questions and share it to us, we can give it to all the relevant people. On behalf of the entire team of IIED, Jashank, I would like to thank you for giving us your time and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us and guiding students.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Jashank. Do join us, guys, next week on our graphic design webinar on next Saturday, 19th of June. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. We will meet next weekend. Thank you, Jashank.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.